y'all, welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and today we're going to do the Finally Fall tag. So this tag was brought to me by Tiffany from @TiffTalks Pages. So thank you, Tiffany, for tagging me. I will put your video and a link to your channel down below in the description. But this tag has some really great prompts, and so I'll just go ahead and get into it. I'll be using my phone since I don't know the prompts by heart. But the first question is, in fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. For me, that is Donna Hill's Confessions in B Flat. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling or reimagining set in the civil rights era. So this definitely gives you those vivid settings, being that it's taking you back in time to a historical setting where you've got one of our main characters who's following the tutelage of Brother Malcolm X, and then you have another character who is following the teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King. Their ideologies are different, but they fall in love with one another. This is set in Harlem, so you've got your underground poetry, you've got your brownstone, so I can visually see where this is setting and get the feel of what the characters are going through, as well as feel their love coming through the pages. So this definitely fits for fall. You can see that our female main character is in a beautiful marigold turtleneck. This is beautiful on the outside as well as the inside, and this has that setting that I am looking to return to. So your second question is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic such as loss or grief. Now for me, this has a stunning writing. This is Night Crawling by Layla Motley. This is also kind of giving me my fall vibes with that orange. Again, beautiful outside but harrowing deep insides. This particular book has heavy content warnings. It talks about drug addiction or drug abuse. It talks about childhood neglect and absenteeism from parents. You have death on page. There is discussion of prostitution. There is interactions with police and abuse of power. So there's a lot that's packed into this book. I'm amazed that this book was done in a debut fashion by a young writer. At the time, I believe Layla was either 18 or 20. And for her to have her first book as an Oprah book club lets you know the amazing content that's in this book. But again, be mindful that it is very heavy. So I would tell you to caution and make sure that you're checking your emotions as well as your mental health while you're going through this. Night Crawling is stunning. I won't give you too much because I want you to experience it for yourself, but what a stellar debut. Now, for prompt number 3, it's, in order to keep warm, it is good to spend time with people we love. So in this, we're going to ask to name a family, a fictional family, a household, or friend group that you'd like to be a part of. Being that the prompt gave me 2 options, family or friends, I am going to choose a book for both. As far as a friend group that I like to be a part of, Farrah Roshan has the Boyfriend Project friend group, where it's 3 ladies who all found each other because they were dating the same guy. And instead of being catty with one another, they decided that they're better together and that they could learn what type of men that they're interested in, follow their dreams and their goals, and support one another instead of tearing each other down. And I absolutely love that. I love being able to see in books that people can find friendships in their adulthood, which is very hard, we know. But to see that these 3 ladies did it so effortlessly. This is the second in the book. This is the dating playbook. Again, with that orange and fall feel. You got a football sports romance. I love the friendship that they have with one another. They encourage each other. They support each other, whether it's a need for a pint of ice cream, a day out on the town for drinks, or to champion someone's idea for the launch of their business. They are the friends that we love to see, especially Black women who are all about their business and wanting to see each other succeed. So this is what I would choose from a friendship group that I would be a part of. But as far as a family I would love to join, that's going to be the Bergman brother family. This is Only When It's Us by Chloe Leese. You can see that this is definitely giving, for me, fall vibes. You've got our main male character who is always in a flannel, somewhat of a lumberjack, but I love this entire series, specifically starting with the first book, which I also gave 5 stars. It blew me out of the water. This particular family is tight-knit. They have a great support system within one another as brothers and sisters, but also their parents give them a great foundation of what love looks like, what a successful marriage looks like. They make jokes with one another, but they also support each other in its downtime. They give each other space, but also making sure that they are supporting the relationships that they decide to embark on, and always spending quality time with each other, whether it's holidays or going to sporting events. This family is like no other. And of course, right now, the only book that isn't out and the remaining single person is Vigo. So I'm going to tell you, I'd like to join the family, and that's going to be my person. But knowing that the final book is coming very, very soon, I don't know how I'm going to squeeze my way into this family, but I've got to figure it out, because Chloe Leese did an amazing job with the romance and the love between the family of the Bergmans. So the next prompt is, fall is back to school session. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something new. So for me, that's going to be Mickey Kendall's Hood Feminism. Again, loving the orange and fall vibes, but this is for people that consider themselves feminists as well as people that are non-feminist. I'm going to tell you that this has hood in front of it. So it talks about specifically Black women in urban areas. It also focuses on women in the feminist movement that have been forgotten, and how oftentimes the plight starts with making sure that we are covering those fundamental needs, those basic level in the Maslow hierarchy. So it talks about a little bit about food impoverishment, and we talk about the use of WIC or food stamps, and just making sure before we get to the point of women being successful and them being able to get into the career field and get to what they aspire to, we talk about the homes, right? What if we're on food assistance, you know, they're giving green vegetables, right? And the things that they're pushing, but do I have a working fridge? Do I have the elements that are able to support me and my family in one regard? It also talks about how feminism is pushed on Black and brown girls early on in the education system, how you are identified when it comes to your attitude as well as when it comes to like your appearance. And so this taught me so much, even from perspectives of being a Black woman. There are stories based by Mickey and other members that she references that maybe I didn't experience, but I can definitely see how it plays a part and a factor for Black and brown girls. So again, this one is what I would choose for a book that's taught me something and I truly value and appreciate. Now, number 5, the prompt is, the colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of foul color spines. And of course, I have no better book than Kate Gobeck's You Again. This is fall to a T. Like, there is no better book on my shelf that I can cover for fall. It definitely has your leaves, and it stretches all the way to the spine. So I have not read this yet. I have the audiobook on my phone right this moment, so hopefully this is going to be one of the next ones I pick up. But it's definitely giving that fall vibe. So for prompt number 6, it is, fall is the perfect time for storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein someone is telling a story. I have not read this one, but it is on my short TBR for November. And this is a young adult book that centers the Me Too movement. So in that, we have Off the Record by Cameron Garrett. This is a young adult book where there is an aspiring journalist. She is interviewing a lady who has underwent some sexual assault or sexual abuse from someone in the workplace, a celebrity in particular. And so this is her identifying whether or not she can share the story, whether or not she can protect the identity, and whether or not this will get her into hot water, knowing that this is a story that needs to be shared. And of course, this is, like I said, young adult, so I don't think that it's going to be too descriptive on page, but I appreciate Cameron for putting this into the young adult spectrum, because again, we want to be able to see that our young women are recognizing signs at an early age and know what is right and what is wrong and how to be able to speak up on that. So I am so interested in picking this up. My next prompt is, the nights are getting darker. Share a dark and creepy read. Now, this book I absolutely loved. I do need to reread it. It's not necessarily creepy in the way of like scary haunting stories, but for me, that is going to be Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is definitely dark. It has some more dark elements than we're used to seeing from Leigh Bardugo. I believe this is her first dark adult book, and so you want to be mindful that this story here has some content warnings that are also very important to be mindful of. Alex, who her real name is Galaxy, she has been chosen to go to Yale, which is an elite institution, as we all know and love. But it wasn't because of her academic accomplishments or any particular accomplishments other than the fact that she can see ghosts. And so the secret society has kind of tapped on her for her abilities to really rein in the remaining houses within the secret society, make sure that all of the ghosts that are kind of haunting the area, that they're kept in line and kept in check. And there is a mystery that is to play. We get to see that she is brought into this and how her powers are being used and manipulated throughout the book. And again, this is a very dark, it does have some creepy elements because I don't want to spoil it, but just know that the ghosts are not necessarily just, around. They are also able to manipulate and jump into places that they shouldn't be. So just know that I had a really good time. I still need to read Hellbent, so hopefully I can get to this one probably as a reread in December and jump right into Hellbent. The next the next question is fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you would like to return to soon. Now for that, I'm going to choose Sarah Maas's Court of Thorn and Roses. I have had this as a reread potential for many, many years. I read this back in 2017. I have the entire collection. I just never finished it. So I do need to jump back into Sarah J. Maas, her entire universe, to be honest. But I do want to make sure that I pick up A Court of Thorn and Roses and continue on because I want to be able to see how the story between her and Rhys-Sienna wraps up. I'd like to see what happens with Tamlin. I, of course, am going to give Nesta a try, knowing that she gets a redemption arc, but this is something I definitely need to reread soon. As the many opportunities I've had, everyone has had read-alongs, and there is now a graphic audio. There's so many ways in which I can consume this, but knowing that Sarah J. Maas is all-consuming and I am going to deep dive into this, I've been putting it off, but now is the time for me to get back to it. And lastly, the days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm somebody up on a cold and rainy day. For a short read, I chose Holding Back the Years by Keisha Thompson. I just finished Novellathon, and this was the read that was one of my top favorite. It was 5 stars, absolutely best thing that I read that week. However, I do want to make sure to mention this isn't as lighthearted as I thought it was going to be, but it definitely warmed my heart. And being able to see that this centers 2 characters that find each other as they're supporting their family members through a nursing home. And in that, they fall in love with one another, not knowing how their paths cross play. But one of the things that I feel like is heartwarming is that you not only get to see that they fall in love, but you get to see love and life and how people of an older age experience it, the love of their family, the love of, finding a significant other, of reliving their past. And so this was beautiful and touching, and being that you got so much love that was wrapped in a book. And so this was one of the things that I would say, if you are looking for a novella that is heartwarming, but also heart-wrenching, this is definitely the one I would tell you to pick up. And the last question is going to be, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading at nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. Now, for me, things that I love to have around is a blanket, a warm blanket. This is actually a heating blanket, so it definitely warms me up and gives me those cozy vibes. In addition to that, I love to pair it with a candle. So one of my favorite scents is mahogany teakwood. Enjoy smelling this in fall. So these 2 right here are going to be top-notch accessories for the best reading. That being said, that is the end of this prompt. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, leave a candle emoji in the comments down below. And also tell me, if anything, what is your perfect pairing for fall. So what do you think from a book perspective is an automatic fall read for you? And I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.